everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra, because we are on a Friday. Oh my goodness me, it's the end of the working week. There's the thing. As you can see, I'm here in the library. We've got the fire on tonight. I don't know if you can see that. The fire is on. What you can see is His Royal Derpiness here. There we go. You can see the fire is on now. The reason why His Royal Derpiness is in here is because the fire's on. I think we've established that. And also because it's cold. In fact, I've just drawn the curtains because it is a little bit chilly tonight up here in the library. Not helped by the fact that I'm still wearing my my garb from where I went out today for a spot of lunch. So yeah, I've got the Harris Tweed waistcoat on and my granddad shirt as well. I'm going to settle down, Derp. Oh, goodness. Oh, we can see the fire now. There we go. Thank you, Derp. Right, so what are we drinking tonight? Well, first of all, we're having one of our subscription beers, Sir Lobo or Senior Lobo, Choco and Orange Bold Stout, brewed by the Barcelona Beer Company, Cerveza Artesana, Choco and Orange Stout. I think we've established that. Doesn't say anything else, just says brewed and canned by Barcelona Beer Company, 7%. The elements of beer malt, and that's as much as it says. So we will be having that. In fact, I am just topping up the magnificent Rush beer glass here. And what do you know? We haven't even read a ghost story yet, and already we have a dead soldier. And run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
And what are we washing it down with? That's the stuff that does damage, boys and girls. It's the single grain Scotch whiskey from Lidl, 40%. So, what are we reading? We are still reading the excellent Haunted Places of Scotland. So, let's crack on, shall we? We are up to Cocket Hat Pub, Aberdeen. The Cocket Hat pub is said to be haunted by the bogle of a former landlord, John Walker, who died in the late 1950s. The story goes that his apparition was spotted by a member of staff as she was locking up in 1973. The phantom was described as being that of a man dressed in a long coat and a hat with an upturned brim. The staff member had seen the man, but when she went to serve him, he disappeared. Again. The staff member had seen the man, but when she went to serve him, he disappeared. Probably his round. Her description was identified as the previous landlord by the then manager. Manifestations are also said to include a half-seen apparition caught out the corner of the area. Manifestations are also said to include a half-seen apparition caught out of the corner of the eye, an uncomfortable presence in the lounge bar, and on one occasion, a glass of whiskey moving by itself across a table. Do you know what, Derps? I think we'll do one more ghost story, then we ourselves will have some beer. So, Coffin Works, Dundee. The Coffin Mill, part of the larger 19th century Logie Works, was once the largest linen/jute mill in Dundee, and it remains a very impressive and striking building. The two blocks of the works are joined by an attractive cast and wrought iron footbridge at second floor level. The mill was closed many years ago, and the building has been redeveloped for residential use. There is more than one suggestion as to the name. One is that it comes from the coffin-shaped site. Another that it refers to an incident when men were killed building the chimney. And the third about the appalling story of a girl who got her hair caught in machinery and was killed horribly. The iron bridge linking the two blocks is said to be haunted by the ghost of a girl, which is reputed to be seen crossing the bridge every night. One story is that she was killed by mill machinery, as above, but another is that she was cast from the bridge after finding herself pregnant. Do you know what, Dirk? We are going to look up Coffin Works Dundee. So let's just reach over the MacBook here. So Coffin Works Dundee. No, that's not how you spell Dundee. Coffin Works Dundee. Right, here we go. Images. I've got an idea in my. Yes, it's exactly how I imagined it. It's not unlike. It's not unlike Fairfax Street used to be in Bristol. And would you believe the page that we've alighted on with a picture of the Coffin Works is actually a ghost story page. There's the thing. So let's let's just go to StreamYard, share screen. Come on, present, share screen. There we go. So there it is. There's the Coffin Works, and that's the footbridge running across the middle. I don't think it looks anything like that now. In fact, what we will do is we'll see if we can find a picture of it as it exists today. So Coffin Works Dundee. It's still another ghost story page. This Haunted Scotland. This is a Facebook page. Oh, we're going to like this. When I say we're going to like this, I mean we are going to like the page. Here we go. This is much better. So let's get rid of that. Add to stage. So there we go. That's the Coffin Works these days. And there is the restored footbridge, which is apparently haunted. And there is another view there as well. You can tell this is recent times by the cars. Yeah, there we go. The Coffin Works. Incroyable, everybody. We're learning stuff tonight. We're also drinking stuff tonight. So we're going to have some of this. Is it Senior Lobo? SR Lobo? Senior Lobo. There's the artwork. It's a wolf. I think it's Senior Lobo. But chocolate and orange bold stout. Oh, we need bold, Mr. Orme. It certainly smells orangey. So slange me by everybody in the magnificent Rush beer glass. So thank you, Kirsten and Steve in the States. Oh, that's like an alcoholic Terry's chocolate orange. That's really quite nice. Right. Colonsay House. Colonsay House, an attractive whitewashed edifice, dates from 1722, although it was extended in the 19th century. The island was held by the McDuffies, but passed to the McDonalds, and then later to the Campbells, and then to the McNeils. The house is now home to Lord Strathcona, the first of whom was Sir Donald Alexander Smith, High Commissioner for Canada in 1896. The fine grounds by the house include some 20 acres of both woodland and more formal gardens. The big house on Colonsay is said to have had a brownie, probably a graugrach or glaistig, that also acted as a herdsman. I think we'll have a bit more beer, Derps. Cheers, me beers. Oh. Colquhoun Castle. Overlooking the Don Valley, not much survives of Colquhoun Castle, a ruined 16th century L-plan tower house of Forbes of Towie, except some of the Overlooking the Don Valley, not much survives of Colquhoun Castle, a ruined 16th century L-plan tower house of Forbes of Towie, except some of the vaulted basement. The castle was apparently never completed, as 3 of the lairds were killed while overseeing its building. The ruins are said to be haunted by a phantom piper, one of the Forbeses, who fell from the top of the old tower in the 1600s, which is about 4 o'clock. Bum. Shall we have some more beard up? I think we will. When I say we, I mean me, not you. Not with your drink problem. So cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Comlongan Castle. Standing in 120 acres of secluded woodland and gardens, Comlongan Castle consists of a massive keep with walls 14 foot thick in places, to which a mansion was added in the 19th century. The Grand Hall has a massive fireplace, and there are steps down to the guard chamber and the dark pit prison. Comlongan was held by the Murray family from 1331, after Sir Thomas Randolph had given the lands to his nephew, Sir William Murray, and their descendants held it until 1984. The family became Earls of Annandale and later Mansfield. The mansion is now used as a popular hotel. The castle is said to be haunted by a green lady, the spirit of Marion Carruthers of Mousewald. She was the joint heiress, along with her elder sister Janet, to her father's considerable lands and property after he was slain in a raid in 1548, which is 12 minutes to 4. The poor girl was forced into a betrothal of marriage with John MacMath of Dalpedder, nephew of Sir James Douglas of Drumlanrig. Douglas was also her guardian, a man she did not love, although the motive appears to have been her property rather than amorous desire. As Douglas was her guardian, he had virtually absolute control of Marion, who nevertheless seems to have been a strong and independent young lady. As the wrangle was to last for years, even the Privy Council seemed to be against her, and in 1563, Marion was ordered into the wardenship of Borthwick Castle. Marion sought refuge in Comlongan. However, the castle of her uncle, Sir William... Sorry, I'm being put off by Derp fidgeting here and me not reading that properly. Marion sought refuge in Comlongan, however, the castle of her uncle, Sir William Murray. She was apparently so distressed from the long dispute that she eventually committed suicide by jumping from the lookout tower. An alternative and perhaps more likely version is that she was murdered by the Douglases, who gained access to her room and threw her from the roof. Because she was thought to have committed suicide, she was not given a Christian burial, and it is said no grass will grow on the spot where the poor girl died. This happened on the 25th of September, 1570, when she would have been about 29 years of age. Douglas did well from her demise and went on to obtain her share of her father's lands. Yeah, let me read that again. Yeah, I know what it means. Douglas did well from her demise and went on to obtain her share of her father's lands. Her apparition is said to have been witnessed both in the grounds and in the castle, the phantom of a forlorn, sobbing girl. The sounds of her weeping have also been reported, as well as a ghostly presence which pushes past people. There have been recent reports of activity, including a photograph purporting to show the ghost. We're going to look that up, actually. So, ghost, long gone castle. Oh, that's not how you spell it. Ghost. I've messed that up, boys and germs. Ghost Comlongan, I think we'll just go with. Would it be easier if I did this with my ghost? No, not. Oh, goodness me. Ghost. It's going to be easier if I do it on my iPhone. So it's come up with Ghosts of London for some reason. We don't want Ghosts of London, so let's get rid of that. What did you do on Friday night? I tuned in to watch Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra on a Friday, and instead watched a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, looking up on his iPhone, Ghosts of Comlongan. Ghost Comlongden. Right, ghost, not Comlondon. Comlongden. I've lost where my page was now. Comlongan Castle. Goodness me, it shouldn't be Ghost Comlongden. Right, so no, not ghosts. Oh, this is ridiculous. It keeps giving me Ghosts of bloody London. Gone. Right, thank you. We've got there in the end. So Ghost Comlongan. But it doesn't appear to show the Ghost Comlongan Castle photo. No, it's not showing it. Oh, that's a shame. That's a damn shame. Mentions it. Oh no, this might be it actually. This is a photo taken at Tantrinell Castle in Scotland. No, that's Tantrinell Castle. That's not Comlongan. Oh, don't worry. We'll sort it out after the show. So, Corgarth Castle. Corgarth Castle is a plain 16th century tower house altered in later centuries and surrounded by pavilions and star-shaped outworks. The old castle stands in one of the most stunning and beautiful parts of Scotland. Corgarth saw much action in Covenanting times and the Jacobite risings. It was burnt by Jacobites in 1689 and then in 1716 by Hanoverians. In 1748, it was altered into a barracks. No, it's true, I tell you. And later used as a base to help prevent illicit whiskey distilling. The castle was leased to the Forbes family. Sorry, the castle was leased to the Forbes family The Forbeses feuded with the Gordons, and this came to a head when Adam Gordon of Auchindun and a force of his family ravaged through Forbes lands and besieged the castle. Corgarth was held by Margaret Campbell, wife of Forbes of Towie, and 26 others of her household, women, children, and servants. The men's folk were away. Probably a football game on. Margaret, however, would not surrender the castle. Gordon of Auchindon lost patience with her. Gordon of Auchindon lost patience after one of his men had been wounded, had wooden kindling set against the building and torched the place. The building went up in flames, killing all those inside, including Margaret and her children. The story is recounted in the ballad Edom o' Gordon, although Towie Castle is given as another possible site of the massacre. Ghostly screams have reportedly been heard in the castle, and the barrack room is supposed to be particularly haunted. Website www.historic-scotland.gov.uk. Oh, Derpy, it's cold. Much as I don't want the show to be over, because I enjoy doing the show, I really can't wait to put my hoodie on and get warm, because it's bloody cold up here tonight. So cheers, me beers. And we're going to have some bumps. So at this stage, the show starts going downhill or uphill, depending on your perspective. Oh, that's delicious. Right. Corn Exchange, Edinburgh, brackets, Leith. The Corn Exchange, built as a selling hall for the grain trade with offices in Leith, dates from 1860 and is a fine building with a distinctive domed corner. The building was later the headquarters of the Northern Lighthouse Board, then as offices for a scaffolding business, and was then used as a public house. After periods of disuse, the Corn Exchange was recently renovated as offices and a studio/gallery. The Corn Exchange was reputed to be haunted by two ghosts when it was still in use as a public house. One is said to be the bogle of a landlord who was proprietor in the 19th century. The story goes that the man hanged himself after going bankrupt because his establishment was boycotted, as many locals accused him of torturing children. His phantom is reported to have been caught on camera during the filming of Understanding the Paranormal, a US TV series. Other manifestations are said to have been lights going on and off by themselves, which was observed in the former lounge area, unexplained cold blasts of air, and people feeling as if they were being pushed by an unseen presence when entering an upstairs room. A second ghost is believed to be that of a young child, perhaps one of the landlord's victims, who, the story goes, was locked in a cupboard. The sounds of weeping and other mysterious noises are reported to have been repeatedly heard coming from the upstairs of the building. Oh, that's grim, Derp. That's proper grim. Slash me, what are we up to? So I'm just trying to tilt my glasses over because you can't see what the screen says. 28 minutes. Are we 28 minutes or 26 minutes? 26 minutes. I've got my reading glasses on, so everything from about 2 foot away suddenly just blurs out. So slange me, everybody. Oh, cheers, me beers. Oh, Derpy, why does this beer mat get so soggy and damp? It's a beautiful beer mat, though. Coaster, I think we call it. But it's a Glastonbury tour, and that was bought for me by my very good friend Tara in Wellington 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, that was prior to me having the old. But yeah, Wellington's a great place. I'd like to go back there at some stage. Right. Cornaig Bay, Vattersay. Cornaig is reputedly the site of the murder of the sons of the 29th Chief of MacNeil, who had their stronghold at Castle Bay on Barra. MacNeil was widowed, and his new wife, known as Marion of the Heeds, had the sons beheaded, so that her own boy would be heir and inherit MacNeil's property. Ghostly screams are reputed to have been heard coming from the spot where the sons were slain. Oh, the beer burps. 28 minutes and 10 seconds. There we go, Derp. Oh, he's got off my lap. Finally, I can get myself comfortable. Yeah. Marion, at least according to the stories, was a particularly unpleasant woman, and the islanders, too old or ill to work, are said to have been drowned in the sea on her orders. Again. Marion, at least according to the stories, was a particularly unpleasant woman, and islanders, too old or ill to work, are said to have been drowned in the sea on her orders. Marion herself is said to be buried in Unesson, but Innocen. Let's try that out way. Marion herself is said to be buried on Innocen by the chapel known as Killy Briani or Cabil Mor Nan Cain, the Gaelic for Chapel of Marion of the Heads. I'm just seeing what photographs we've got here. Craig Neathan, we haven't got there yet, or have we? NOPQR. No, we haven't got as far as these photographs yet. Comlongan, okay. Coiler Inn, have we got that one yet? Well, we'll do the photographs now. So there's Comlongan Castle at the top there. And then we have Corgarth Castle in the middle, Corgarth Castle. And then we have at the bottom Coilet Inn, see page 84, which we haven't got to yet. So sneak preview, that's Coilet Inn at the bottom. Half time, yep, it's half time. Oh my goodness me. Well, we are going to have some beer snacks because we're a bit peckish. Cheers, me beers. Oh, that's better. I don't have a bit more of the bump as well. Oh, lovely. Right. We had adventures today. Right. So then we just bring up the today's adventures. Went to that there Bristol with my good friend Faye, my good friend Tara, lady who saved my life. And this is the great thing about being a passenger, is that I get to take in the views and take photographs. So here's a good example. This is going over the swing bridge on the Cumberland Basin. There in the distance is the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Oh my goodness me. Doesn't matter how many times I go into Bristol, either occasionally on the Cumberland Basin or indeed over the bridge itself. It never ceases to amaze me. It's just so iconic. I remember when we moved down here, checks notes 50 years ago this year. I can't be 50 years ago, but yeah, we stayed at a hotel literally on the Clifton Rocks, I think it was. I can't remember what the name of the hotel was. It's still there. But yes, we stayed in a hotel. We dined in the restaurant which overlooked the Clifton Suspension Bridge. I mean, how old was it at the time? 9. It blew my mind. It was just incroyable, ladies and gentlemen. So, and that's never left me in the 50 years that I've known and loved Bristol. He said, try not to roll his R's, but I'm afraid I do that when I say Bristol. And apparently I say Bristol like that. Anyway, there we go. Clifton Suspension Bridge. Brilliant stuff. And then we walked across Castle Park, and that's the bombed out church at Castle Park. And it's got some beautiful landscaped gardens there now. Try to remember the last time I walked through here. Must be about 20 years ago. I used to cycle through it quite a bit, but this is all relatively new. So yeah, so there we are. That's Castle Park. Like I say, bombed out during the Second World War. Went past the Psychic Garden. I knew there was a Psychic Garden there. I just knew, folks. That was interesting. Some beautiful gardens there, not unlike Glastonbury Abbey. So again, I will be making a return trip to have a good look round there. That's the church at Castle Park. I'll tell you what the name of the church is in a second. Let me just Google that. What do you do on Wednesday night? Do you know what? Wednesday night. What do you do on a Friday night? I've no idea. He said that he's researched this, but St. Peter's Church. Yeah, it's the bombed out remains of St. Peter's Church. One of my favorite places on the planet, and that is St. Nicholas Market. And this is the Corn Exchange at St. Nicholas Market, where we stopped for a cup of tea. Tara had a coffee. I had a cup of tea. I love St. Nicholas Market. It's just, I could spend all day there. Unfortunately, we were up against the clock with the parking, but there will be a return trip and there will be more reportage about St. Nick's Market. But especially at Christmas, it comes into its own, ladies and gentlemen. It's brilliant. But yeah, there we go. That's St. Nick's Market. This is also, there we go, St. Nicholas Market. This is another thing that they do, is the air raid shelter walking tour. So again, I am going to book for that, because that, I've seen it on Facebook. It looks brilliant and it feeds my need for history. Yep, that's going to happen. So we will hopefully report on that at some stage. That's a nice blue building in Bristol. Blue and white building in Bristol. I'm going to Google what that is. Blue and white building, Bristol. No, that's not blue and white bulk, not blue and white t-shirts, blue and white building. And it is no, that's not it. Oh, for goodness sake, it's not coming up with anything, and I really should. Blue and white building, Bristol. That's definitely blue and white building. Right, blue and white building, Bristol City Centre. Just having a look to see. It's, I just don't get this. It's not coming up with anything. So, okay, for Sunday night ghost stories on a Sunday, we will try and discover what that building is. Magnificent, absolutely fabulous stuff. Right, and lunch. So Tara had that. It was like a chickpea stew with bread. You're thinking, Derp, what did you have, JM? What a surprise. Jacket potato, cheese and beans, which I've not had for a while, actually. So that was, oh God, that was delicious. And we're back to the Clifton Bridge again. So we went from there to there's a garden centre down by the bonded warehouses. Oh my goodness me. I'm just going to see, I'm sure they've got a picture of me there. Plants were bought, and it was absolutely brilliant. Here we go. So we got some plants there. They're a gurning idiot. So plants were bought, and oh my goodness me, I will be going back there because the prices were pretty good. And that's my friend Karen. And there we go. Captain Jean-Luc Picard joined us because he had Earl Grey hot. So that's back there. Actually, we will dial it back a bit. That is my dear friend Karen, whose birthday it would have been yesterday. She sadly passed away in 2018. She was an absolute, just such a fabulous person. We met through our mutual love of the English rock band Marillion. And of all places that I met her, ironically, she came over from the States to one of the conventions in Minehead in Somerset. So she'd come all that way to follow her favourite band. I'd literally driven down the M5, but we hit it off immediately, and we were very firm friends for the best part of 15 years. And like I say, she suffered from Hodgkin's lymphoma, was being treated for it, and like I say, 2018, she went to bed, never woke up. And in fact, she was the sister of Kirsten, of whom we thank for the Rush beer glass. So, and indeed, I thank Kirsten for the Rush beer, the Rush bottle opener as well. So that was today, ladies and gentlemen. A brilliant day, really. I try to be positive about life, especially as I have experienced the darker elements of life, and literally seen my life flash before me and felt myself leave my body. I can't explain that. I think part of me is probably going to rationalize my out-of-body experience as, come on, JM, you are on copious amounts of morphine and Oromorph, which is another, all the beer burps. I was on morphine and God knows how many other medicines at the time, drugs at the time. So yes, I was likely to be experiencing high levels of, what's the word I'm looking for, Dirk? High levels of out of body experiences. Let's just put it that way. And again, articulated in a Marillion song called Care, where at the end of the 15-minute song, there is a section that the best way I can describe it is it's what it feels like when you leave your own body. You feel yourself moving away from your physical form and becoming, I don't know what. Again, it could have been purely chemically what's the word? God, we're not doing well tonight with words. Chemically induced through being on a drip and being having morphine and everything. But honestly, I was explaining this to Tara today that just that bit of music, that's what it feels like when you kind of leave your body. But yeah, so that was today. That was a very productive day. And we're going to have some more bar snacks. And I'm going to get on with some ghost stories because I'm boring you with a lot of tedious personal stuff. So cheers, me beers. That's the other thing that I am playing catch up with at the moment is the Diane Morgan series, Mandy. Oh my goodness me, it's so funny. Just responding to my friend Judith. I may have missed a series. I may have missed a series through the old brain stuff. Derp's actually perched down there on the floor. I don't know if you can see him. There he is, just there, perched on the floor, right in front of the fire. You warm enough down there, Derp? Right. For the second part of tonight's entertainment, he said modestly, we're having the chocolate stout from Aldi. Smooth and indulgent, brewed in the UK in partnership with Hall and Woodhouse. A rich, indulgent stout featuring luxurious chocolate flavors balanced by notes of roasted malt. 5%, but I tell you what, I can vouch for it. It is brilliant stuff. Right, Derp, let's crack on. Mit the ghost stories. Corrigan Castle, Canna. Not much remains of Corrigan, which means fetters, castle on the summit of a steep rock, except part of a gatehouse or forework, which is in a dangerous condition. The island was a property of the Clan Ranald. The island was a property of the Clan Ranald branch of the MacDonalds, and the surviving ruin may date from as late as the 17th century, although it is probably considerably older. The site is said to be haunted by the ghost of a woman imprisoned here by one of the MacDonald Lord of the Isles, possibly even his lovely wife, who had fallen in love with one of those dratted MacLeans. Ruin may be in a dangerous condition. View from exterior. So, ruin may be in a dangerous condition. View from exterior. That could explain me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's tilt the camera back up a bit. Right. Here we go. Chocolate stout, Derps. He's down there on the floor. He's enjoying the heat from the fire. So, oh, that's lovely. Slouch. Oh. We'll have some more of the single grain scotch. What's for supper tonight, Derp? Because we did have a big jacket potato for lunch. I think it's going to be salad tonight. Yeah, it is salad tonight. So, Corsock Moor. The moor is said to be haunted by the bogle of a headless piper. The story goes that he was foully murdered and decapitated while crossing the moor. The sounds of unearthly piping have reputedly been heard on the moor, along with the sighting of a headless man. One sighting of the apparition records that the phantom was hazy and see-through and bathed in an eerie blue light. Sorry, I'm just going to read that back again. The story goes that he was foully murdered. Well, you're murdered. You can't be kind of like cheerily murdered. He was happily murdered. He was joyously murdered. Well, of course you're going to be foully murdered. Anyway, let's have some more of this lovely chocolate stout from Aldi. Which, in order to get it chilled tonight, we actually put the bottle in the freezer. So after an hour or two, it comes out super, super, super chilled. Not unlike me, I'm rarely ever chilled. Well, I suppose at the end of a ghost story show, I am a little bit chilled, but I'm certainly chilled tonight because I'm barely wearing anything and it's bloody freezing. Anyway, there we go. For the second time tonight. John, nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in our time. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Great film. Well, right. Corstorphine Castle, Edinburgh. The grounds around the site of the castle are said to be haunted by the ghost of Christian Hamilton, wife of Andrew Nimmo, not Derek Nimmo, wife of Andrew Nimmo, who was executed in 1679. She was in love with James Forrester of Corstorphine. Corstorphine, second Lord Forrester, despite being his niece, and had a child by him. Let me read that again. She was in love with James Forrester of Corstorphine, second Lord Forrester, despite being his niece, and had a child by him. They used to meet under an old tree, supposedly planted in 1429, and which, until 1998, still grew at one end of Dovecot Road. During an argument about the pair getting married, Christian stabbed and killed Forrester with his own sword, and she was quickly arrested, tried, and sentenced to death, although she had pled self-defense. Christian managed to escape from prison dressed as a man. Christian managed to escape prison dressed as a man, but she was recaptured at Fala Moor and brought back to Edinburgh, where she was executed by beheading. She is said to have been clad in a white dress and to have conducted herself very bravely. Her apparition, a white lady, has reputedly been seen around the site of the tree. Nothing remains of the ancient castle of the Forresters except for the 16th century Duvcot. This has reputedly got supernatural protection. It is said anyone demolishing the building will die within a short time. Also nearby is Corstorphine Old Parish Church, dating from around 1426, which is almost 2:30, which contains tombs with stone effigies of the Foresters. Oh my goodness me, Debs. We got hungry. I know we had a big lunch today, but that was 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago. I'm a growing lad. I need my food. So cheers, me beard. Oh, that's delicious. Slange. Oh, we got some more fan mail. Apparently we've just won a gold at the Winter Olympics, and it was for the luge. So a big thank you to viewer Judith for that. Brilliant Western wins skeleton gold and GB's first medal. Just giving you, just giving you a shout out on Ghost Stories. I've got another thing come up here for an alert for a message, but I cannot. Come on, Facebook, make it easier. Oh no, that's it. I found it. Cortachy Castle. Just have a quick read. Yep, that's it. Cortachy Castle, or Cortachy Castle. Right. Cortachy, an impressive courtyard castle dating from the 15th century, has long been the property of the Ogilvy Earls of Airlie. Charles II spent a night here in 1650, which is 10 minutes to 5, in the King's Room, and the building was sacked by Cromwell in revenge. The castle reputedly has a harbinger of death, a phantom drummer heard to be playing along with other eerie music when one of the family is about to die. The phantom drummer is said to be the bogle of a man who either had an affair with the laird's wife or did not raise the alarm when the castle was about to be attacked, depending on the version. The drummer was killed by dumping him into his drum and throwing him from the battlements of the castle. Before he died, he cursed the family, saying that his drums would be heard whenever one of the family neared death. A third version is that the man was burned to death in 1645 after being taken as a hostage. It is said that the drums were heard several times in the 19th century and heralded deaths in the family, including two of the earls, their wives, and their relations. The drummer also appears to have been witnessed at Achnacarry, near Fort William, and also abroad, was not bound to. Sorry, again. The drummer also appears to have been witnessed at Achnacarry, near Fort William, and also abroad, and was not bound to talk to Cortachy. There are no accounts of the drums having been heard recently, and it might be pointed out that it's been a long day, folks. There are no accounts of the drums having been heard recently, and it might be pointed out that the time between the drums being heard and the death happening was up to 6 months. Gardens occasionally open under Scotland's garden schemes. Phone number, website, that's as much as we're going to do tonight. What do you reckon, Derp? Yeah, you quite happy down there in front of the fire. So time check. Oh my goodness me, 56 minutes. We are coming up towards the end of the show, but we're nowhere near the end of the show. So anyway, in the magnificent United Federation of Planet Shot Glass, again, a big shout to viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. Kirsten being Karen's sister. God bless you. Got to say, that is the Starfleet logo that was introduced in 1979's Star Trek The Motion Picture, which for decades I thought was absolutely dull. I hated the film. I saw it at the cinema back in, checks notes, 1979. Hated it. It was actually the first video I ever hired from the local video shop. I was a sucker for punishment. Hated it again. Then I finally went out and bought the Robert Wise director's cut. Love it. One of my not only one of my favorite Star Trek films, actually one of my favorite films. And I went to the cinema again, checks notes, 4 years ago. So before the old, went to the cinema in Weston-super-Mare to see it on the big screen yet again. Bloody loved it. So Star Trek The Motion Picture, brilliant film. I absolutely adore it. So Coull Castle, not cool as in cool, as in Coull Castle. Coull Castle was held by the Durwoods in the 13th century, hereditary Dorwoods to the kings of Scots. The stronghold saw action in the Wars of Independence, but may have been abandoned as early as the 14th century and is very ruinous. When one of the Durwood family was near death, the bell of the church at Coull is said to have tolled by itself. I think we'll have a beer and a bump. Cheers, me beers. What are we up to? 59. We're 59 minutes. We are coming up towards the end of the show. In fact, we are coming up to the hour mark. So pow, that's it, the hour. What did you do on Friday night? I tuned in to watch Sunday Night Ghost Stories extra on a Friday, but instead I watched a confused man from Dudley eating his crinkles, oven baked but not fried, red hot chili things, whatever they are. Do you know what, boys and girls? They are delicious. And I have friend Faye to blame for that. So, right, we're going to bang through these. These are all nice and short. So, county buildings, air. The county buildings were erected in 1818 to 22 and then extended in 1931. The site covers the former jail, which has been demolished, and the buildings include the striking classical courthouse housing the Sheriff Court. The site is reputedly haunted by the headless apparition of a man thought to have been one of the prisoners executed here. A headless man, which these days we call a reform councillor. Eh? Cheers, my beers. Is it going to be a 3-bumper tonight? I'm just trying to see what Derp's up to. It might be a 3-bumper. Or a 2-bumper. County buildings, Lanark. The former county buildings, with an imposing classical edifice, are said to be haunted by the phantom of a nun, and there have reputedly been several sightings, usually in the evening. County buildings, Lanark. The former county buildings, with an imposing classical edifice, are said to be haunted. Right, not me. Don't know if you can see that. Are said to be haunted. That should be said to be haunted, not said to buy haunted. You know, make my work hard. The former county buildings, with an imposing classical edifice, are said to be haunted by the phantom of a nun, and there have reputedly been several sightings, usually in the evening. The building was used as a hospital until the 1960s. Where have you gone, Dirk? He just suddenly jumped up behind me. Cheers, me beard. What we're going to do, boys and germs, is we are going to get to the bottom of that page, and then that'll be it. So County Hotel, Dumfries. Standing at the end of the High Street, the building dated from the 18th century, but was closed in the 1980s. It was here that Bonnie Prince Charlie and his army stopped in 1745, which is 5:45, on their way north after withdrawing from England. The prince held court and slept in the inn. And in 1936, a guest claimed they saw the apparition of a man dressed in tartan entering by a disused door and then returning the same way. The adjoining room is said to have been Bonnie Prince Charlie's bedroom. The hotel has been demolished and the site is occupied by shops. I'm busting to go for a pee at the moment, but we will get to the end of this. Oh, strange. And we're going to have a couple more bits of snack. County Hotel, Peebles. The hotel buildings incorporate a vaulted cellar, which probably dates from the 16th century. This may be part of one of the 6 Bastle houses, which survived in the town as late as 1870. The County Hotel is said to be haunted by the ghost of a young woman killed in a tunnel behind the dining room sometime in the early 1900s. Her indistinct apparition has reputedly been seen. Objects have mysteriously disappeared or been moved, and ghostly whispers have been reported. You know what? We're going to do one more, and that's it. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. So cheers, viewers. Last one for tonight. Courtaulds, Wishaw. The works here, latterly owned by Courtaulds, produced lingerie for retailers such as Marks and Spencer's, but the plant is apparently to close or has closed, according to recent reports in the media. Oh, the beer burps again. The plant is said to be haunted by the spirit of Willie Primrose. The story goes back to the 1930s, when reportedly Primrose worked as a labourer in the works, but had the misfortune to be accidentally locked in the boiler room over a weekend and was found dead on the Monday. Various manifestations were then attributed to Primrose's bogle, including making lifts go up and down by themselves, switching lights on and off, and making machinery operate even though the power had been switched off. It is said that since the death of the man who locked Primrose in the boiler room, the haunting ceased. And that's it for tonight. Goodness me. We desperately need some food. So that's your lot for tonight. Fingers crossed, we'll be back for Sunday night ghost stories. Brace yourselves on a Sunday, because we got Opera on 3 tomorrow night, which I'm looking forward to. So until the next time, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why not? What else are you going to do on a Friday night than watch a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, drink ghost stories, and read alcohol? So until the next time, as ever, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and please don't have nightmares. Good night.